Just kind of a tip, feel free to take it out of its pot and look at the roots. You want to look at the root system. This is great. It's white, and what that tells you is it's healthy and it'll probably do really well. Sometimes if it's been sitting there a long time, or just there's a disease or something's wrong with it, if it's brown, if it smells, then I wouldn't get that plant. So so you know, find yourself. I would get in the habit of buying plants, check the roots. So there's that. So in terms of how to plant, you want to do a depth of how deep it is in this pot. And so when I am digging, just taking that, and you want to make sure your hole is as wide or just a little bit wider to make sure you get that in. You're not trying to squeeze it in the ground. And I'm going to intentionally do this a little bit.
So what happens if you squeeze it in the ground?
Well, you're compromising the roots. You know, you don't want to squeeze those. Those roots are important. So.
Well, you know, that one looks pretty good, but what if you got one that was root bound? Would you do it differently?
Good question. You could take your hand and loosen it up. You're not going to, you know, just kind of loosen those roots up. If you're feeling daring, you can actually take a soil knife and cut the bottom of those roots. Done that before too.
So, what does root bound mean?
Root bound is it sits in the pot too long.
Oh, and it's just pretty much enclosed.
Right. And what happens is all that soil kind of just disintegrates and it's just roots.
Oh.
That's another thing to look for. If it's root bound, you may not want to get that. So I put that in there. Does that look? How does that look?
I think it looks good. I do.
That's pretty deep.
So actually it's too deep.
Yep.
So as you can see, this is basically the soil line. You want it just flush. The top of this soil to be flush.
So why? Like, what happens if it's too deep?
The reason being that this is the crown of the plant. And if you put that in there and you cover it up with soil and then you cover it up with mulch, you're exposing it to moisture and it'll rot. And so,
thank you.
Yeah, we did not.
I'm learning so much about why we missed
Literally
it
just took like didn't take the plants out of the pot, just threw the pot on the ground.
we did not do that.
So I'm going to do this. You can do it flush.